Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Audit and Finance Committee meeting, the CCIDA, CREDC, CRC. We're at the Fredonia Technology Incubator, 214 Central Avenue, Dunkirk, New York. Also streaming live via YouTube and Zoom. It is currently 9:10 on September 22nd. We'll start off with attendance. Gary Henry is here. Brad Walters. Here. Sagan Sheffield Smith.
Here.
Thank you. You have already received the meeting from the prior minutes on September the 21st. Had a chance to review those. We have a motion to accept those minutes. Megan, a second. Thank you, Brad. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Minutes have been approved. Move into new business where we're going to review the policies and resolutions that we've been reviewing and go over the final drafts. And that's going to be presented by Bob Murray of CRC.
Chairman, thank you, everybody. Well, yeah, third time, but it's the third time you've seen policies. And I think I explained last time, before you saw these, are doing a great job in front of your them and bringing them, revising them about them. The items here, they're all new policies or charters of this agency. And we'll go through them. Some of them are in response to the audit, some of them are on finance. I think they're all in response to audit, and asking these, and then on an annual basis basis with the state laws and best practice. Let me just dive right in.
Yes.
Maybe it makes sense. I'll just go through them sequentially. I think at the end, this board's just recommending approval to the committee's recommending approval to the board. I would suggest at the end, Mr. Chairman, keep one motion to recommend. So we don't have to take them one at a time. I'll just dive in, interrupt me. Let's okay. The first item is an audit finance committee charter. You already have an audit committee. Statute suggests that you have an audit and finance committee rather than creating a separate finance committee. But we do a lot of times we'll combine them in audit finance committee. Your audit, your function, and this is pretty much recommended charter that the authority budget office recommend. This really isn't going to change anything that you do on the audit side. And what we're doing is we're adding a finance piece of it, and really that's more geared toward by the statute. We really were an issuer for our own purposes, like we're a bridge authority. We're actually borrowing money to build things. We're typically, I think, every time the second agency borrows money is this through conduit financing on reports. But by statute, the audit finance committee is supposed to review all borrowings for recommendations. So we've combined the audit finance committee with the same members. Nothing will change for the audit committee. And these are covering all three entities. This is a joint meeting of all entities will have the exact same policies. So this is just formalizing the statutory requirement. The next policy is confirming that you're everybody's volunteering, you don't get paid. But by statute, this is a statutory policy. It's formalizing nothing. Again, this would change behaviors or any way they treat our affiliates, but it's formalizing required by public authority law policy. But I say I mean all three.
It also allows that they be reimbursed for reasonable expenses.
right? Incursion. Yeah, and we have, right.
University students.
Yeah, so if any of the committee members here are traveling, with respect, to accomplish board purposes, you have a standalone travel policy that the government is confirming that you're not, you don't have to go, while looking for board business, just you can't get here. And the expectation was to be a board member, team member, and a eligible to receive. The next policy is a credit card policy. This really comes out of the authority budget office review. I know Mark and Rich were really doing a lot of these things already, but there wasn't really in one place at all. A little elder skelter, but we've got it in a policy now. Mark and Rich spent time to make sure this adverse impact ability of the agency to do its business as it's been doing. But now we have it in a document for anybody who's issued a card to understand what the rules are with respect to keeping the card, using the card, and accounting for its use. And Schedule A here too. The schedule can be amended from time to time. But this we're supposed to identify who has cards, who's physically issued a card, and the credit limit on those. Investment deposit policy statutorily required. This is pretty rigorous. There's nothing. You're very limited on what the state invests funds, discretionary funds, where it can put its money. High rate climate, unfortunately, of it. But I assume we're doing a good job, a good legal job, like where money's being put. But this was a policy that was required. You didn't have it, and you have it. Did a good job. Business as usual. We're doing this doesn't change anything. It's on paper. What we're doing. Accounting policies and procedures. This document came out of the audit as a recommendation. This is not statutorily required, but I think several times the APO was saying policy or procedure. So Rich just put on paper his policy and procedures. As an exercise, Rich probably isn't gonna, despite probably wanting to be here forever, probably won't be here forever, but his predecessor and the controller, these are the rules with respect to accounting procedures for the agency.
Only thing about me is this was prepared by the draft by our. So I did a much better job at it.
Yeah, and this one was interesting. I think you're probably the only guy that actually has an accounting policy. It's not statutory. It kind of came out of the air during the audit. Formal accounting policy. So it's hard to work with the accounting firm and pretty good job. So. And the last one, similarly, fiscal internal controls policies. This also came out of the audit, really just confirming how cash checks are handled and how the bank statements are reconciled on a basis. CFO and controller. These are processes that were already in place, but now they're going to be formally written down as requested by the audit. So we're being reactive here, but now you can also take comfort that you're statutorily compliant and on an annual basis that training them, whatever your policies need to close to readopt and amend in policy. So I think you're good to go. These till your next meeting, and there's other policies coming out of the audit that are more appropriate to go. These are the policies that we felt as you went through audit.
Thank you. So we've reviewed these policies multiple times. We've had a chance to read them over. Having done so, if everybody's pleased with these policies, Megan, would you move resolution A1 for us?
Yes, new business, A, policy review presented by Thursday.
Yep, and then that resolution right below that. Have that on?
I don't,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, that's correct.
I'll read the resolution and then it might get. Resolution 9-26-23-05, approving policies, charters, and appointment of certain officer.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So that resolution has been approved by the Audit and Finance Committee. That'll come up again at our actual board meeting for final approval. But I really appreciate everybody's time and effort going through these policies. Certainly Bob and his team and the staff and the board members have to get this right. Finalize your meeting today. Is there any other old business to come before committee? Hearing none, we will close the meeting for the Audit and Finance. Thank you.